Hi there and welcome back to another Mr. Arsenault tutorial. Today in Photoshop we're going to be blending two faces together to make them look as one. We're going to take Tom Cruise's face and put it on Justin Timberlake's face. So we have both of our pictures open. Okay. We're going to select our first picture and make sure that your show transformation controls are open. Show transform. So that's under the move tool. Once you change tools you can see it's not there anymore. So make sure it's selected. And what we're going to start off with is cutting out his face. To do so, we're going to need a marquee tool. The one that I prefer to use is the polygonal lasso. Okay, that'll allow me to do distinct lines in selecting it. Before I go on, just like to say thank you very much to Maxwell Gillespie from Fairview School. He was the one who originally inspired this tutorial and was able to share with all of his classmates. So thank you very much, Max. So to cut out Tom's face, I'm going to start around his features, anything that I want to take with me to put on JT's face. Now be careful to outline his hairline quite carefully, because anything that you take or don't take affects the color component when you go to blend it. Now thankfully Justin Timberlake has a little bit of a beard as well, so it'll work out pretty well. I'm going to click on my original point to close off my marquee, my lasso, and you see that it has ants on it. Great. So from there, I'm going to choose my move tool. Okay, nice and outlined, so now I can move it. I'm going to click on it and drag it up to my Justin Timberlake tab up top, bring it back down into the photo, release, and automatically I have another layer selected or created with his face, exactly what we cut out. Okay, so from here we're going to resize it. If you hold down the shift key, it brings things down proportionally, but for this we might not actually need to do that because he has a rather long face. So match it up as best as you can with his original features, and to make sure that his features overlap JT's features, what we can do is we can bring down the opacity. Something like 70 or 65 even would work, roughly, give or take. So now you can see exactly where his eyes are. And if you need to, you could always extend so that you can see exactly where you're going. Alright, I think that's about good. Make him look a bit more. There we go. Use up more of his forehead space. So I'm going to press enter to apply that transformation. Now that it's been applied, it is in its own layer. Now at any point in this tutorial you could probably take off the background lock, because we will need that to disappear at some point when we go to flatten the layers together. Okay, so from here I'm going to select my face layer, right click on the icon, not the layer but the icon itself. Scroll up to select pixels. Now because we have only the pixels selected, it allows us to make a specific selection. What I'm going to do is go select inverse. So now instead of having his eyes selected, I have all of the outside selected. Now at this point I don't actually have anything selected, it's all transparency. But if I click on this layer, now I have all of JT's features. So from here I'm going to go to select, modify, expand, and I'm going to expand my selection by 6 pixels. Okay, now what that just did is, because everything expanded, the outside edges are already expanded, the inside actually shrunk. Okay, I don't know if you can tell very well, but it actually shrunk just a little bit. Now because I'm expanding all this extra white space and his body, it expanded it by 6 pixels here. So what I can now do is I can go back to my select inverse. Now I'm back to the face portion. Okay. Now as I'm still on JT's face, you can do this on Tom Cruise's too, it doesn't matter. But I want to make sure that JT's picture is selected when I do this next step. I'm going to press delete. So what I'm essentially doing is I'm taking out his face. Now because I have the transparency set to I think it was 70%, there you go, 71, you can't tell it's there. But if I bring it up to 100% again, there we go, nice and solid. Okay, so from here what we're going to do is we are going to deselect that, so Control D. Now from here we're going to take both layers and blend them. So to do that, I'm going to go to Select, All Layers. Okay, now that they're both selected in blue, I can go to Edit, Auto Blend Layers, and make sure you select Panorama because we want the transition, not the stack. There we go. Now that they've been correctly blended together, it looks pretty decent. Alright, now from here, if you want to make any additional changes, you could always zoom in by pressing Control plus. Oh, I have to select my picture first. Control plus. Now if you look very carefully, you can see the pores on one picture, the discoloration, and the low saturation in the other picture. So to change that, what you could do is select your Band-Aid tool, your healing brush. Spot healing would be a little easier. And just click, and it'll automatically blend where you'd like it to blend. Now you can easily blend in his pores to his non-porous parts of the skin. Take out some of the bags, blend it in a little easier. And there we have it. Just like that. If you want to be a little technical, you could always take some color correction and change his eye color or darken his lips or his stubble, that kind of thing. But eventually, come up with a picture that looks pretty darn good. And there you have it. Thanks again to Max, and we'll see you guys in our next tutorial.